Oh, it does. Quite well. Uh-oh. Oh no. Hello, everyone. Loganator here. And I know it's been... quite a bit since my last KSP video. But nonetheless, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. As you could tell from the title of this video, I will be focusing on building aircraft similar to a previous video, starting with our first subject. So starting off, I used a drone control vessel and making kind of a big one here. As you can see, I attached the wings and made them double layered. And then attaching other components to the edge of the wings, you can see my idea starting to take shape. Then, of course, it was a matter of aerodynamics and weight balancing, adding more aerodynamic surfaces for control, and then structural supports. Here we have what I called the cataplan instead of catamaran. The idea behind it is that instead of the fuselage being, and all the other components of it, being in the center, you have the wings in the center and everything else is on the side. And in theory, it flies like a normal plane, although the way KSP works, I had to put something in the middle anyway, but hopefully I structured it properly so that won't be a problem. Anyway, let's take it out for a flight. Alright, full power. Get all this ready. I should have put some stabilizers in there as well, but live and learn. We're looking good so far. Let's head on down the runway. Why are you... No, please don't. No! Right, anyway, full power. Get this ready. And launch. Now this is more like it. All right, we're airborne. Well, it seems to work. Something happened to my control surfaces. But hey, let's keep going. Right, I think the control issue has something to do with this thing. Maybe it doesn't have enough battery power, and I don't think there's anyone in these crew area because they're attached via the wing. So yeah, that's well, I guess that's it for you. There's the cataplan for you. So let's move on to our next subject. Learning from the mistakes of my previous aircraft, I decided to make the command module manned instead of a drone. And then it was a matter of finding the proper attachments, because some of these parts only want to attach front and back, not on the side. And then adding fuel and engines and balancing it out. And then, of course, the wings, which I wanted to be a little more funky, and adding in the fuselage parts that can carry passengers, making the tail, adding flaps, and adding the landing gear. Alright, here we have what I called the Uno Roverso, because, as you can tell, the engine is in the fuselage, and the passenger and whatnot are where the engines would normally be. This is based on those memes I saw like 10 or 15 years ago, where it's just photoshopped, but hey, I gave it a go in real life. Well, not real life, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's see if it can fly. Alright, a little wobbly, little landing gear bouncy, but that's fine. Anyway, let's make this thing fly, shall we? It's trying its darndest. It's trying real hard. Might be a bit heavy. We are slowly gaining speed. Probably doesn't help that it only has one engine. And it's kinda heavy. I think we're losing altitude. It's not looking too good, chat. This thing might be cooked. But let's see if it can do a barrel roll first. Yes, but at what cost? Well, that wasn't good. Right, maybe that wasn't the strongest engine, but it still flew, so I consider that a win. And with that being said, let's move on to the third subject. So this one's a little smaller and probably a little quicker to build than the previous two, as it's pretty much, for the most part, just a regular aircraft, apart from one key difference. But first, making the fuselage, adding some engines, the tail section, and then this was the complex part, making the wings that make this aircraft unique. And then, of course, adding flaps and the landing gear. So here we have our next vehicle, which I named X equals speed, because it's essentially X-shaped. This is actually based on a real aircraft that NASA tested, although I don't think it really went anywhere after they tested it. So we'll see how well it does with my tests. So let's head to the runway. Alright. Looking pretty good so far. We'll see how these wings do. Let's get her rolling. Now, in theory, this thing can go supersonic without making a sonic boom by having the air go along the whole edge instead of going through the middle, and going off 2 edges. Although I don't think Kerbal Space Program has that much detail oriented into it. It's just kind of a lopsided plane. But hey, it flies. Let's see if we can do a barrel roll, even with these weird wings. Oh, it does quite well. It's just kind of weird, off-centered, I guess. Let's see if we can even come in for a landing. There, that's where we want to go. Okay, we're going a bit fast, but this can probably prove our supersonic theory. Maybe a bit too fast. How fast are we going? Oh, 100 meters per second. While on the ground. How fascinating. Those tires took it like a champ. Alright, I guess I didn't expect too much out of this, but mission accomplished. So let's head back to the aircraft hangar and make our final aircraft. For this final one, it still has the typical fuselage aspect. However, similar to the previous vehicle, the strange part is when the wings come in. As I set up the first batch of wings, you may find it simple until I start building outward, and then inward. Then add a bunch of structuring, flaps, and finally the landing gear. Alright, and here we have what I named the Hargrave 1, because as you can see, it is in the shape of a box kite, which was invented by a man named Hargrave, hence the name Hargrave 1. This may not look like it would be able to fly, but so does the box kite, yet it does. So let's see if this Kerbal vehicle can take to the skies as successfully as a box kite. Alright, looking very squat and, well, maybe not squat, it's looking kind of huge actually. Out on the runway, still doesn't look like something that could fly, but we'll give it a go anywho. These engines might not have enough power. Okay, this first one so far I had to bring back to the hangar to adjust. Right, made some changes, hopefully they help. Now let's give it another try. Aha! Successful flight takeoff. Now for a litmus test, or whatever you call it, to do a barrel roll. It can kind of do a barrel roll, although it really messes with it. But yes, this thing can fly. Can probably even fly upside down. I just find this very silly looking. The Let's see if we can bring it back for our landing. Technically, this is also a biplane. Uh-oh. Oh no. And back to this thing. For some reason, I don't know why it's here. As you've seen today, as I've done in many other videos, I have been focused on building vehicles, crafts, and many others in Kerbal Space Program. But that is only half the fun of this game. The other half, I have not done very much, is exploring the great beyond. So make sure you tune in for that. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing for more videos such as this one. And I will see you next time. Bye everyone.